Welcome to the Turkey Hunter Podcast with me, your host, Andy Galliano. In this podcast, I share with turkey hunters just like you how to have more turkeys on your hunting property and how to have more successful turkey hunts. I teach you how to do this with tips and interviews with turkey hunting pros, wildlife management tips, and entertaining turkey hunting stories. Tune in weekly as I share proven and simple strategies to help you have more success this turkey season. Make sure to head over to www.imturkeyhunting.com to subscribe to receive free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews. Also, please visit and like my Facebook fan page. Go to Facebook and search I Am Turkey Hunting, and also feel free to post your turkey hunting photos from this past season and let us know where and when you killed your bird. For all of you Twitter users out there, please follow me on Twitter, where my handle is @TurkeyHitman, and I will be sure to follow you back. And now, for this week's show. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Turkey Hunter Podcast. You are listening to episode 97. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And I am your host and the guy who is celebrating the arrival of the second best day of the year. Now you already know what the best day of the year is. And right now, today, we are 195 days, 8 hours, 26 minutes, and 50 seconds away from the best day of the year, which is opening day of spring turkey season in Alabama. And if you don't know what the second best day of the year is, well, that's opening day of the real college football season. And because today is the second best day of the year in my household, we're going to make today's episode short, sweet, and to the point. Now, some of you may have heard and others of you may not have heard, but last week social media was abuzz over Under Armour Hunt canceling their sponsorship of Sarah Bowmar. And before I get into this real deep, part of the reason that I didn't comment on the topic last week was because I really wanted to see how much more life this controversy had. And luckily, the worst of this mess seems to have died down. And it actually feels a little bit stale talking about it on the show right now. But I'm going to talk about it because it still crawls all over me when I think about it. So for those of you who are listening who are unaware of the story, here it is in a nutshell. Sarah Bowmar and her husband Josh are fitness coaches, and they're both hunters. Sarah had a sponsorship deal with Under Armour Hunt, the hunting clothes line made by Under Armour. Now, in May of 2016, Josh and Sarah went on a black bear hunt in Alberta, Canada, where Josh legally killed a bear with a spear, while Sarah filmed the hunt. Now, after being speared through the vitals by the former collegiate javelin competitor, Josh, the bear ran off. And not knowing how well the bear was hit, and to prevent pushing the bear further, Josh and Sarah left the area and left the bear alone as darkness neared. The next morning, Josh and Sarah arrived at the bait site where Josh speared the bear, and they tracked it roughly 60 yards to where the bear died. After taking some pictures and processing the bear, the hunters left camp, returned home, and posted the video and photos online. Now, as you can imagine, this is where things went bad. An anti-hunter stumbled across the video and became outraged enough to start a petition to Under Armour Hunt to have Sarah Bowmar's sponsorship terminated. After getting over 4,000 signatures on the petition, Under Armour Hunt caved in under the pressure, and they canceled their sponsorship of Sarah Bowmar. Now remember, Sarah didn't spear the bear. Her husband Josh speared the bear. Under Armour had a sponsorship with Sarah. Now Under Armour said that they canceled the sponsorship because they said that they don't condone the method of hunting that was used to take that bear. And last week is when all of this came to a head. And like I said a few minutes ago, I'm happy that things have quieted down, especially for the Bowmars. But I'm very unhappy about how things went down, period. I am very unhappy with Under Armour Hunt for caving in to the anti-hunters. Last week I couldn't help but check out Under Armour Hunt's social media accounts because I figured it was going to be pretty entertaining. And I have to say that I was quite amused at Under Armour's canned response that they would post on their page from time to time after an anti would post something negative on their page. Now, I've always been amused by the anti-hunters' arguments anyway, so their nonsensical jabs at Under Armour Hunt were certainly entertaining to me. But I was disturbed as well by Under Armour's lack of commenting when a hunter would post anything supportive of the Bowmars on the Under Armour Hunt page. To me, that confirms that Under Armour Hunt could really care less about its hunting customers. Ironically, it seems that by caving into the antis, Under Armour Hunt has lost business from many of the hunters that it has clothed over the years. There are videos posted on YouTube of hunters burning their Under Armour gear. It also appears that Under Armour has lost the support of many of the anti-hunters as well, because so many of them didn't even know that Under Armour had a hunting clothing division. So, Under Armour, wake up and listen. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Just like President George Bush said after the 9/11 attacks. You're either with us, the hunters, or you're with the enemy, the anti-hunters. Let's pick a side and let's move on. You can't be hypocritical, produce a hunting product, and then cave in to anti-hunters, and you make a statement of, well, we don't approve of the method by which the animal was taken. If you can't support your clients and your customers, then you really have no purpose for being. Now, one thing that really stood out to me in reading all of the comments on Under Armour's page during the Great Bowmar Under Armour Hunt debate last week, and that was that there were numerous comments from people who claimed that they were hunters, who said that they supported Under Armour's decision and did not believe that Josh Bowmar's hunt was an ethical manner to take an animal, and did not approve of the fact that the bear wasn't retrieved the night he was speared. And this is what really gets me fired up. The ignorance of those hunters, and I'm putting that word in air quotes, about how to retrieve an animal that's been wounded that didn't fall and die immediately. It blows my mind. And you guys have heard me say several times on this show that we hunters have to stand together because the antis are standing together. And if they can divide us, they can and will defeat us. If a fellow hunter harvests an animal in a legal way, and the meat from that animal is used by someone, whether it's that hunter or maybe it's the people who live in the African village nearest where Cecil the lion is killed, whether you agree with the method of harvest or not, you should stand with your hunting brother or sister. Do not support the ignorance of the anti-hunters about life, death, and God's purpose for animals like Under Armour Hunt did. Now, with all of that being said, I want to encourage you guys to pay special attention to the companies that you support financially and be sure that they support you and your hunting lifestyle. Now, I didn't get into a lot of detail about the Bowmar hunt. And the reason being is that you guys can get online and you can find all of the information that you want to about the hunt. You can even see the video footage of the hunt that some people are calling barbaric. And I encourage you to do that if you haven't already. But again, we've got to stick together and we've got to support the companies that support us. And the companies that don't support us, well, I'm going to let that decision be yours. But I can tell you that none of my hunting gear going forward will have a UA logo on it, unless the University of Alabama changes its logo sometime in the not too distant future. Okay, so that's all that I have for you guys this week. We're going to talk some turkeys next week, so you will want to be sure to tune in for next week's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I know that you have choices, and I appreciate you spending your time with us. I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy a long holiday weekend full of football. And I will see you next week. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. You were just listening to the Turkey Hunter podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please go on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review. And make sure to head over to www.iamturkeyhunting.com
to subscribe for free turkey hunting tips, tactics, strategies, and product reviews to help you have a more successful turkey season. And stay tuned for upcoming episodes on hunting afternoon birds, how to film your hunt, and the breeding cycle of hens, as well as some guest interviews. Thanks again for listening. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you sharing some of it with us. See you next week.